in?
Yeah, so I was just updating the description to the right game. Let me know in about 10 seconds if you don't see the game. I didn't say special thanks to docsteve, so that's already a problem.
Has come to our family.
Alright, I see a game.
You remember our venerable
Yeah,
house,
I hear your voice.
opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic
I
perch
heard
above
about
the moor.
heard that it was
I
HD
lived all
Lovecraft.
my years in that ancient,
The
rumor-shadowed
first
manor,
ending of this intro definitely
fattened
tells you
by decadence
HP
and
Lovecraft.
luxury.
Oh, actually, Red Hook.
And yet I began to tire of
That's right.
conventional
So,
extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself
Yeah,
was
that
a
was the
gateway
5
to
minutes
some
of me not
fabulous
solving
and
any problems.
unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil.
The old man.
Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity,
I mean, I had
until
45 hours.
consciousness failed me.
Man. This
You
intro is not-
remember our venerable house,
But at the end, it was just like,
opulent
oh,
and
God.
imperial.
If I fail, I will lose everything.
It is a festering abomination.
I can't do this.
I beg you, return home,
Yeah,
claim your
I
birthright,
understand.
and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows
If I'm gonna go to a piss
of the
dungeon,
darkest dungeon.
Yeah, and there's no saves coming in this game.
None.
You know, first sentence. This is a game about making the most of a bad
Alright.
situation.
Well, how's I know you said the other night it was going to actually Red Hook the story It's Red Hook, which is like an actual borough or something.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient, pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path, you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
It's a great voice acting so far.
Yeah. Be
We
prepared
will
for a
find
lot
our
of great
redemption.
voiceovers.
Which is very easy to...
How much is this game?
I don't know,
It's
Doc.
like $10.
I'm looking. It's $12.50.
Yeah, somewhere. Okay.
What's happened? They're like separate windows on the stream now.
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path.
You have like a
The hamlet is just ahead.
window.
Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
Is there ammo in this game, Steve? Good shot, bitch.
Grievous injury. Palpable fear.
Great. So it's
Dodge. Fuck you, Dodge.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles. Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
You said hold up. Why would we hold up?
no reason. It's just a little bit of flavor text.
Gotta get that flavor text.
Spicy.
Ooh.
Leave nothing unchecked.
Ooh.
There is much to be found in forgotten places.
Ooh, shit.
An ambush. Send these vermin a message. The rightful owner has returned, and their kind is no longer welcome.
Nice. Hold on a second. Make you guys a little more audible. Alright, say a word again, Steve.
Hi, hello.
Oh, perfect. You may hear yourself a little more clearly on the stream. What were you saying about fight, Steve?
Oh, just a great job on the dodge there. What I saw.
Yeah, I got lucky.
You want me to show you give you a quick little tutorial
Yeah.
as to all the shit that's going on?
Yes, please. I see there's so many buttons to click.
Yeah. So let's start with. Okay, let's start with the left box. Once the screen stops moving on my end because of the delay. Okay. So you have the character's name followed by his class. That's Crusader. We're going to continue downwards. You have the red is your hit points. Once you reach 0, you're dead, obviously. When you're about to die, you have this last stand mode that happens, where you will not die until you fail a check. And a check happens every time you take damage. So there's a chance for, like, resounding living.
Insane living, yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Okay, underneath, and don't worry, you'll get to that state at some point and you'll learn a lot more about it. Underneath that is your sanity. Okay, so your sanity goes from obviously 1 to 200. Once it hits 100, you will have some type of save where either a bad thing will happen or a very good thing will happen. So the bad thing could be like paranoia, where you get massive debuffs and your person no longer trusts the other people in the party. Or you could have like bravery, where they get some great buffs along with them.
Prodigious size alone.
Right, there's
If you're-
Cthulhu and Nightmare and Sanity type of stuff.
Yeah. If you get to 200, you have a heart attack and that person dies. So don't do that. Alright, continuing on the
Wait,
left.
hold on. Wait, sorry. What was the don't do that?
If your stress goes to 200,
Stress.
and your character has a heart attack and they
Okay.
die.
That sounds bad.
Yeah. Okay, continuing on the stats, ACC is accuracy. Obviously, the higher the number, the easier it is to hit your opponent. Crit is your chance to deal a critical blow. DMG is your damage, and that's a range. Like right now, from what I can see, it's 2 to 3. Dodge is the opposite of accuracy. Prot is protection. And it's an odd percentage sort of thing. There's a few abilities that give you protection, but you don't get much of it. And then the last is SPD, which is speed, and that determines round order. So highlight one of your abilities right now. And I'll wait a few seconds for the delay to end. Okay, Bulwark of Faith. So there, go back to Bulwark of Faith. Okay, so there you have the name. 1 means that's the level. It has a special ability called Torch +6. We'll talk about Torch in a second. Self means it targets the self. Mark target means that you get a mark, basically, that gives aggro onto yourself, and there's some enemy abilities that do additional damage onto marked targets. Buff self, as you can guess what that means. Prot 25% means that you would block a fourth of the damage that's coming at you. What's key is, do you see those little pips above the title?
I've been looking at those pips.
Yeah, so those pips are positions. So in this game, you can have a maximum of 4 characters, and you should always have 4 characters with you. So right now, that Crusader's in first position, which is the furthest to the right. Then the Highwayman is in the second position, and then 3, and then 4. Meaning that you can only use Bulwark of Faith in the first or second position. If you were to go to the third position, it would be grayed out.
Does it
Now
indicate that by hovering over it in any way? Or looking at it?
Do you mean the skill, or which
The
position
skill.
you're in?
The skill.
Yeah, any of the skills that you see, they should give the pips above them. So go to-
Okay, sorry. I was looking at the pips below the health bar. You mean the little star above the icon on the... Okay, gotcha. Never mind.
Yeah, so go to another ability now.
Okay, yeah, they don't have that pip in the gold diamond.
So go to another ability.
Yeah, I did. It's just 10 seconds delay.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, so Stunning Blow. So there you see there's 8 pips. So the ones in white are the positions that you can use this ability in, which is the first and second. The other set of
Gotcha.
pips is the enemy's position.
Or they
Now-
have to be, yeah.
Yeah, now this is a unique situation you have, because the big guy takes up 2 slots,
Oh,
and the little guy is in the third position. So that means that that ability couldn't hit the little guy.
is that what the big line in the middle is? Or how do I know that he takes up 2 positions?
You can see that he's
just
just
fat?
yeah, he's just fat. You can just
So I
tell
just
that.
need to know by his fatness, okay.
Yeah, and it's pretty well telegraphed in the game. Go back to that.
Stunning
Go
glow
back to
one.
that ability. Yeah, Stunning Glow. Alright, Stunning Blow. So you can see that's a melee attack, ACC base 90. That means that's its base ability 90, so there's some abilities that are more accurate than others. As you can guess, you have high accuracy, low damage abilities, so kind of safe options, and then high damage, low accuracy abilities. Damage mod minus 75 means it does minus 75 your base damage percent,
Wow.
and then stun 100% base. So that means that if someone had 0% stun defense, it would stun them 100% of the time.
Nice, okay.
Now go to the ability to the left of it, what looks like a scroll.
I already did, assuming that was the one you wanted.
Yeah. All right. Now, the only thing I want to point out here is, do you see that the right two red
I
pips are
linked it. Hits them
connected?
both, yeah.
Yep, hits them both.
Yeah, I clicked it before. But I
Now
can't hit 'em.
go.
None of this does anything against these guys. I want us to move, just like move back or switch heroes.
Now, notice how there's a grayed health bar below the big guy.
That's his like
So-
corpse health, yeah.
Yeah, so eventually you'll chop him into little bits and his body will disappear. And then the little guy will move forward.
So that's the best thing to do generally.
It all depends. I mean, like your highwayman has a pistol that can hit people from a distance, so you'll be using him to hit people in the back ranks. Now, click on one of the enemies, and I'll tell you quickly how to read their stats.
So like for instance, this guy will be able to be stunned 75% of the time because he has 25% stun resistance.
Yeah, so basically, that stun ability was naturally 100%, so yeah, you would subtract 7 or 25 from that. It would be 75. So you have Blight, which is basically poison. You have Bleed, which is basically a poison. You have Debuff, which is some random down arrow. As you can see, there's one on your highwaymen. And then you have Move, which means that the person cannot move. It locks them into their position. If you hover over any of the skills or abilities, it'll tell you something about them. So let's start at the upper left-hand corner. You got the unit's name. To the right of it is their health. Notice that they do not have sanity. So that's for you to deal with. Below that is you see what kind of creature they are. This is a human. You'll get equipment later on in the game that will attack specifically humans or animals or whatever. Dodge and speed is pretty self-explanatory. And then the skills. Sometimes it's handy to look at the enemy's skills. Like so,
I
go
can't,
over to.
Steve.
Oh, it doesn't say anything about blanket fire?
No, as soon as I move my cursor off hovering the guy, it doesn't allow me to do anything. I can't like click and maintain this window.
Oh. Well, you'll learn the abilities pretty quick and what they do. Usually people in the back row have abilities that only work in the back row, so if you drag them forward, they only have very terrible low damage abilities. So sometimes it's a good idea to bring people out of rank. Let's see here. What are some other quick things I'm forgetting? So you'll notice that on the side of the right box, there's two tabs. One is like a little pouch. The other one is a scroll. Touch the scroll.
Okay. Oh, that's like the map.
Yep, that'll show you the map. Now, of course, for the intro level, it's pretty basic, but eventually they'll become much more complicated. So the other things to point out is back to the lower left-hand
Give them no
square. You see that there's some crossed swords. You see that there's a shield and then a sack. So the crossed swords is the arm or the weapons that you have equipped. The shield is the armor that you have equipped, and then the sack are the trinkets. And as you can see from winning that victory, you just accumulated some trinkets. So if you clicked on your highwayman, went into your inventory, you could give him that trinket.
Sounds good.
So most of the time, the trinkets give kind of a most of the time it's a positive and negative.
Okay, so it's a mix. Interesting.
It gives you a mix. Look at it more as you're specializing your unit. Now don't leave. Always open up chests.
Oh, was there a chest there?
Yep, there was a chest sitting right in the middle.
I'm a dangus.
No, that's okay. It's a very important lesson to learn.
Welcome home.
Is it important
Such
enough
as
to
it
restart
is.
since that only took 8
This
seconds?
squalid hamlet,
No,
these
it's not.
corrupted
But just
lands,
keep that in mind for
Yeah.
future
they are
I will.
yours now. And
That
you
was-
are bound
holy
to
shit.
them.
Holy shit. This is like Pokemon. Defeats this dungeon master. Yes.
Yeah, you got to get all of the gems. You got to get all the badges.
Fucking A, Cotton. I see why you could easily spend 45 hours on that.
Yeah.
In time, you will know the tragic extent
Okay,
of
so
my
super quickly,
failings.
lower left-hand corner is how much gold you have. Gold is what makes the world turn round. Next to that is you have a series of like pictures and sculptures and such. That's what you use to upgrade buildings. Going on to the right, the scroll tells you kind of what's going on. To the treasure chest shows you all the trinkets. The book tells you all the cool voice dialogue pieces, and then the candles are your option menu. On the right is your barracks that shows all of the units that you currently own. Don't worry, that will get ginormous as you upgrade buildings. At the beginning of the game, it's not a bad idea if someone gets a lot of stress just to throw them away and pick up another person.
Yeah.
Well, and the game will show you a tutorial, but basically you have to spend money and time to de-stress people. And so at the beginning of the game, when people are so low level, it's not worth it. You don't make a lot of money to start off with. So why don't you click on the cart? What is
Yeah, I
the
Women
figured that
and
out.
men,
Boom.
soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses.
the cart on the far
All
left
will
side?
find their way
It's a
to
blinky
us now
red
that the
arrow.
road is clear.
Again, the 8 signal day. I clicked it before you said it.
Alright, so you have all these different types of heroes.
A sister of battle,
So I'm waiting to
pious
see what
and
heroes
unrelenting.
pop up.
We got the lady and the weird bird man.
So I would say, yeah, oh yeah, take
Seeker.
both of them.
And well, you gotta have at least 4. This guy Steve told me said, so you might as well get them no matter what.
Yeah. But later on you can upgrade your stagecoach so you get more people at the end of each round. So typically your party, without a doubt, has a healer in it, and it has someone that can do mad deeps. So
sounds
right
good.
now, your healer is the hooded woman.
Mm-hmm.
She's actually a very potent healer. That's a great class for healing. And then your highwayman is kind of your single target deeps guy, though he has that scatter shot, grape shot, which is handy. You have the crusader, which is your tank for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And then depending
Seeker Plague Doctor is what he is.
and then the plague doctor, yeah, he's a good back row person. So his entire role is to give people poison.
Mm-hmm.
So it won't kill them immediately, but the poison is very potent.
Looks like our camping skills what he can use back at camp.
No, that has to do with a medium-sized dungeon. So basically you can take a rest in the middle. It's a
Okay.
great way to get to de-stress a little bit. It can also be used to heal. In some circumstances, like, read through the camping skills for your different classes, but sometimes they will give you buffs for like the next 4 encounters or something like that.
If religious, minus 20 stress. If not religious, minus 10 stress.
Yeah,
Who
so
needs to hang around? I've got Dungeons and Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
so for an example, like Crusaders and the Hooded Woman, those are religious. The other 2 people are not religious.
How do I know that?
You just kind of learn it. Now, you're looking at these player stats right now. You'll see those pips in general and the combat skills. So if the pip is very bright, that means that the abilities that you have highlighted
Need
Work.
that in position, yeah.
work in those positions. So if it's very bright, that means you have many abilities that work in that position. If it's dark
Yeah, it's
or
a height
kind of
map.
faint, exactly.
Weight distribution. Question, how do I organize them in the line? Is that the line that they're organized on the right?
No. Once you embark, that big red button in the middle, that's when you head off to a quest, and that's when you figure out the ordering of folks.
A mecca of madness and morbidity.
What I would recommend
work
for the very
begins.
beginning
Mm-hmm.
is do short quests and just try to gather as many trinkets as possible. because trinkets is what really starts building your strength.
Okay.
So as you can see, it forces you into a short one.
I don't have a gray robber, so I don't think I can use this trinket.
Well, eventually you will.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
How much
All right.
food do I need?
So how this works is you have to buy provisions for going deep into the dungeon. As you can see, you already have some provisions. Some of those provisions come naturally with some of the units. So if you have the Hooded Woman, she brings along with her holy water. If you have a Plague Doctor, he brings along an antitoxin. And you'll just kind of learn from the classes what they bring along with them. So food, basically every so often, everyone in your party needs to eat. If they don't, they begin to starve and they take a lot of damage, which is no good. Let's see here, you got shovels. Every so often you can have big piles of shit that are in front of you, and that takes a lot of time to break those down, and it will stress out your people. So it's a little bit of a gamble if you want to bring shovels along with you. Antitoxins stop poison, bandages stop bleeding. What is beside there? That little mortar and poultice takes out all your debuffs. Keys gives you a higher treasure chance for chests. Holy water does a whole assortment of interesting, wacky stuff. And then torches are to keep the light on. Now this is an important dynamic. You have yes. It's a it's okay, this is how it works. The more light there is, the less danger there is, but the less treasure you receive. The darker it is, oh my god, it gets crazy in there, but you can get a lot of treasure. So if you want to play it safe, you bring a lot of torches. If you want to kind of roll the dice a little bit, I wouldn't say, like, don't buy torches, but then just let the torches, either snuff the torches or let them burn out, and then see how far you can get in darkness. But as you can assume, the darker it is, the more stress you accumulate.
Sure.
In encounters.
I bought random stuff, and I'm gonna now fight the demons.
I would say probably 6 torches.
Oh, well, it's too late now. So should I already be using the torches I'm there then? Like in the first room, or?
No, you should start with full brightness.
Okay.
So that little graph at the top that has the torch burning in the middle of it,
Okay.
that tells you how it works, or how much light you have. If you hover over it, it'll tell you how much light and the benefits of having that much light. In the upper left-hand corner, you have the victory condition, so you need to explore 90% of the room. So if you looked at the map, you have to get to 90% of all the big squares. Now, whoever you have highlighted and you touch an implement of some sort, they are the person who's going to touch it.
Ah, because there might be bad things that happen.
Yes, there will definitely be bad things that will happen, or good things that will happen as well. So if you have a person that has high stress, or they have high damage, it's probably a good idea to have someone who's stronger and less stressed out touch the objects.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
So you see there, Hooded Woman used an ability that brought more light.
Foolish horrors.
So that can be helpful.
Brought low and
Dazzling
driven into
light
the
actually
mud.
increases the light in the room?
It increases your torch.
It doesn't actually say that. Oh, torch
It
plus
says
6.
torch
Yes,
plus 6,
I'm
yeah.
blind. Now I gotta click the thing. Ooh, shovels. Okay, let's go. This looks like a pile of
Even
bodies.
the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
Now some other kind of not so explained dynamics. You have that white flag. That white flag means retreat. If you retreat, of course, everyone is still alive, but it usually incurs a lot of stress on everyone who rushes out of there. The little arrow you'll see under 5, those different arrows running in different directions, is how you can change your player's position. There's also some abilities that allow them to shift around.
Hold on, that little 5? Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha. Never mind.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Oh, cool. Poison destroys their corpses.
Now, usually when you stun an opponent, they get a buff where it becomes more difficult to stun them.
Okay, that's why.
So
they're
it's
getting
basically
buffed.
you can stun lock people. And the same goes for you as well. Another thing is, if you can avoid it, try not to take unnecessary steps, and very much don't take steps backwards. Taking steps backwards is like retreating, and it incurs stress.
Alright, so you want to take the least number of steps through a system.
If you can. I mean, it's not absolutely vital, but it does help out.
Ooh, they're going for that guy.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Crushed by justice.
this advantage. Give them no quarter.
You noticed how that archer had to use a shit ability? It's because he was too close in the line.
So there's, so I can't heal anyone, and I can't camp probably, because this is a medium dungeon now.
Correct.
Wait, the fucker? What's... I thought I was going here. Select the destination room. Oh, okay, yeah. I thought I could go all the way to the right. Fuck me. Fuck me.
Yeah, now you're gonna run into a trap somewhere down this hallway, so watch the floor.
Yeah, it told me about it.
Oh, good.
I was like, hey, dude, don't die. Pay attention to the game.
Now, usually you should highlight your most tricky person.
Like the smartest person?
Usually the highwayman, for example, is really good at disarming traps. It should give you a percentile as you are over the trap.
Makes sense. This is just like an empty room.
Yeah, looks like it.
Oh, ass.
So you do not need to walk through those rooms. You can just click on the map and just go to where you want.
Like directly?
Well, you can choose your next direction. You don't need to walk over to the
Side.
next screen. Yeah. Oh wow, that's a lot of food. So you can heal people with eating food as well. When you have
Yeah.
that much food, you can probably heal them.
I did.
Up.
I was like, I don't know how much food these people eat, so I got 3 iterations of food.
So you can just right-click on food while highlighting your highwaymen to heal them.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was. Oh, okay. Oh, I'll do that after he's dead. Yeah.
Oh wow, you're in Darkland.
Oh yeah, I am in dark.
So that goblet boy, he is all about causing stress.
Yay! Fuck you, goblet shit man.
He's just gonna be spilling black licorice all over you. Okay, now you're marked, so they may use abilities that do more damage.
I was thinking about it, I was like, I might do it anyway.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving. A death by inches.
Oh, and I don't know if you saw, but if they die of poison, their bodies disappear immediately.
Yeah, it was real good.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
So I should return to the hamlet now, right?
Not before you open that chest. Open
Okay,
that
so
chest.
continue adventuring.
Yep.
Then open chest.
Yep.
Oops. I opened up the wrong guy, but oh well. Alright, now click on the thing.
Yep.
Wow, why would it even do that? Just to be rude.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Well, and you know, you don't always finish with a chest in the room.
Sure. But what if it just opened that chest automatically and said it was a dick?
Well, but sometimes bad things can be in chests.
Oh, right.
Usually not. Usually
But
chests
it's
are
possible.
safe. Yeah, but I mean, you can get poisoned and stuff. But at the end of the game, or at the end of your expedition, it's like, who cares if you're poisoned? I'm just gonna walk home. Poison's not gonna hurt. So whatever, suck a dick.
Yeah. Whatever.
see
I
something
got a
long
hot nurse at
absent in
home.
the
I don't care if
sunken
I'm
faces
poisoned.
of passers-by. A glimmer of hope.
Ooh, I like... I like this. What is Warren's phobe? I don't even know what that is. Wait, does that mean they like Warrens? Like, caverns?
So one of the areas is called Warren.
Oh, okay.
So when they're in the Warren area, that's the
And they're scared
Yeah.
of it because they're
yeah,
phobos?
it increases stress, damage taken in the Warrens.
Weird. I mean, I understand that they're basically PTSDing about a specifically terrifying place.
Fresh kegs, cards, and curtained rooms promise solace to the weary and broken alike.
The caretaker is currently enjoying the brothel. That's just funny. It's like, oh, what would you like? Booze, gambling, or women? Women, please. Well, we're full. We're busy.
Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion. The cobwebs have been dusted, the pews set straight. The abbey calls to the faithful.
Oh, look, there's a whorehouse for the religious. It's called the church.
Yeah. Basically, the further you go to the bottom, the more expensive it is.
Got it. Yeah, women are always the priciest.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you should go to the wagon and pick up your new recruits.
Oh, they're there every time?
Every time. So even if you jump into the dungeon and run away immediately, you get new recruits.
Oh, that's good. So that's like, hey, you stressed out your men, but I understand you get new men. So the Seekers, Bounty Hunter, and Hellion, these seem like attacker men.
Yep. So Seeker is their level kind of way to think about it.
Yeah.
And their class is Bounty Hunter and Hellion. Bounty Hunters are awesome, kick-ass minions of destruction. Hellions are kind of like berserkers. They have a lot of abilities that do high damage, but it usually, like the next turn, they take more damage, or you can see they lose dodge, so they become easier to hit. So they're a bit of a gamble. But they can do a lot of damage, and also they're very versatile in where in the rank order they can hit.
Oh, she already has fear of unholy and deviant tastes. I'm into this girl.
So deviant tastes, for example, means that she can only release stress at the brothel,
Mm-hmm.
which is not helpful because right now the brothel is being taken up.
Mm-hmm. So, also a question about stress. Right now, I look at my man's stress, and his stress is somewhere in the numbers.
Yeah, I think if you put it just over those little white pips underneath their name,
Mm.
I think it should give you how much stress they have. Or highlight the
Oh, so this guy's the most stressed, right?
the
And
poison man, yeah.
there we go. Okay, the number one, stress 45 out of 200. So he got super stressed out, that last one. So would it be smart to put him in a place and then get a Newman at 45 stress?
Well, I mean, here's some tactics. Right now it's super early in the game, so it might be a good idea just to throw him away. And just fill his place with a new person. Because
Okay.
he's only level 1 and, you know, whatever. Sometimes it's handy to look at quirks to see if he has really good quirks. But you're not at the point of the game where you can make quirks really permanent or anything like that.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, it doesn't look like he has any good quirks, especially for a doctor. And I can't remember where you go to discharge someone. Oh no, it's right underneath his name. You'll see like a little... See apprentice plague doctor. There's a little man that has an arrow going away from him. That's how you would kick him out of the party. There's really... I wouldn't say there's a point to kick him out at this moment because you don't have a full barracks.
Another
But eventually,
soul battered and
you know,
broken.
if you wanted to
Cast
spend the
aside
money,
like
you
a
could
spent
lower the
torch.
stress. But at this point, it's like, why? Why spend
Sure.
the money?
Sure. So when I dismiss them, they go away permanently?
Yep, he's
Okay.
gone forever. Make sure he doesn't have any valuable trinkets on him.
He didn't. The only trinket I equipped was on Reynald.
Yeah. Now another thing, go into like the cart stagecoach. I'm waiting for it to catch up.
You want me to click on the upgrade thing?
Yeah, just to get a feel for. So it should give you a description for what each upgrade does and the costs of it. That's where the little heirlooms and picture statues and all that. So I would say, like, all of the buildings are important to upgrade, but the stagecoach is great to get you going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I upgraded that already because it seemed like very low cost compared to my resources.
More arrive,
Yeah.
foolishly seeking fortune and
After
glory
that, I would
in this
say,
domain of the damned.
so in my opinion, I would say the armory or the blacksmith shop is the most important. That hasn't been unlocked for you yet.
Mm-hmm. To just save my monies.
Yeah. And then I would recommend you choose either the abbey or the bar and kind of focus primarily on one of those as your stress reducer.
Okay. Shut up, you bitch.
Sometimes it's handy to take a peek at the rewards because sometimes usually it gives you money, some type of heirloom thing, and then a trinket. So sometimes it's handy to look at what trinket it will yield you because you might want that trinket for whatever other reason. Alright, here's another key thing. There's really no refunds. So if you bought all this stuff and then you left the screen, it's just basically thrown on the ground and you've wasted all that money. So once you've committed, once you're starting to buy provisions, unless there's a damn good reason, don't, go on the quest. Because you're just throwing away
The
money at
fiends
that
must be
point,
driven
especially if you're
back.
buying shovels.
And what
shit.
better place to
Sure.
begin than the seat of our noble line?
Okay. All of the classes are pretty straightforward. You read their abilities, you get a feel for what they're like. There's some people that like to bleed enemies, there's some people that are tanks. It's all pretty straightforward, except for one class, which is
In
called
Radiance,
they're
may
called
we
the
find
Antiquarian.
victory.
Okay.
What they do is they're awful at fighting. Absolutely awful at fighting. But having them in your party brings about more treasure and more money. So I would say try to get one of those as soon as possible. So
Interesting.
you can start building money.
Confidence
Don't get
surges
two of
as
them
the
in your
enemy
party, 'cause
crumbles.
Then you don't do much damage. But just know having them in your party brings
Money
about
anyway.
more money. Yeah. And it's money in the form of coins, but also like little, like stones and stuff like that. It'll take up inventory space.
Okay.
So I bring that up because it's not straightforward. The game doesn't tell
Another
you
one
so much
falls.
about that their purpose is to make money.
Yeah.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
So, how do you relieve stress? You relieve stress by killing monsters. You relieve stress by critical hits. You relieve stress through camping, which you can only do on medium or long expeditions. You can relieve stress through a few very specific abilities. But other than that, you're on your own.
Sure. Thank you, Steve.
I mean, on your own as in for reducing the stress.
I don't know, I was making a joke.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
I'm still watching, I'm just gonna brush my teeth.
Yeah.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive. As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
This looks like something bad's gonna happen, so I'm gonna open it. Yep. I'll do it. Oh, what? My guys are surprised? God damn it. Oh, whoa. I see, okay.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Wait, the corpse resisted the knockback? God damn it. Fucking A, man.
The ground quakes.
The ground quakes.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
No, no, the chest was trapped. Oh shit, I need to reorganize my... Well... God damn it. He's going great.
Grievous
Oh.
injury. Palpable fear.
Oh god. Shit is doing bad. fucking with my archer. Good shot, bitch.
Well struck.
Nice.
What are we doing? Oh yeah, looks like one of your folks is getting a little stressed.
Nope. Lady got just puked on by shipboys all
As
day.
victories mount, so too will resistance.
No, it's always the attractive ones that get puked on.
Mm-hmm. Also, is there any way to rearrange my party now that I'm out of a fight? Oh, I see. Move does that.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Desiccated and unremarkable, my favorite.
I would say always be wary about going less than 4 food.
Yep, that's what I was like. Keep the 4.
Yep. Because this game has no partial rations. If you have less than 4, everyone is starving.
There's the hunger. Oh no, I saw it, but I got too close, I guess.
Ambushed by foul invention.
I didn't have a good feeling of how far away it was far, I guess. No. Oh, you resisted it, nice.
Now when you get to big rooms, you do not need to walk across the rooms.
Oh.
You can open your map and just go to the next place you want to go.
Oh, this lady's gonna be just completely stressed out. Yep, there it is. 100. Vigorous!
So that's a positive one.
Adversity can foster
Though
hope
caged in steel,
and
my
resilience.
faith burns through.
Let's go out. Bitch is strong. So how do I learn more about her positive trait? Oh, here we go, vigorous. Doesn't say shit. Okay, she's just vigorous.
I should tell you somewhere. I don't remember where. Oh, maybe on her little vigorous icon?
That's what
Above
I
her
thought.
health bar?
Yeah, it just
No,
says
it just said
vigorous.
vigorous.
Oh wow, he smashed me hardcore. his mother said, "My suffering has prepared me well." That's fucked up. It looks like Vigorous just gave her health for free.
That's good. You can probably guess, but these heroic outcomes, not as common. Not as common. You're stressed out? Well, I feel like a brave warrior. Nope.
Remind
Nope,
yourself
doesn't
that
happen in
overconfidence
most
is a
situations.
slow and insidious killer.
That's funny, yeah. The hero contemplates mortality. Thanatopia. Yay! The chess had a bad outcome.
More
Thanatophobia.
bones
Fear of
return
death.
to rest. Devils
I think
remanded to their
That's fear of
abyss.
death. He's a bitch, is what he's saying. Oh, he's God-fearing. Irrepressible. And this lady heals people, she's a hero,
We
she's
dug for
irrepressible,
months,
she's not gonna be
years,
repressed.
An eternity.
Trump's not
And
getting
we
her
were
down.
rewarded with madness.
That's a cool lady.
She voted for herself.
hmm So, fundamentally, Steve-O, why would I want to be looking at my stagecoach if I don't have someone dead just to replace someone who's even better? Or to replace someone who's recuperating?
The bellows blast once again. The forge
Well,
stands
first of
ready
all,
to make weapons of
hold on a
war.
moment.
Okay.
Make no mistake,
Sorry,
we
I
will
had a
face
retainer in,
ever
so I was
greater
gonna
threats.
talk like I
Our
was in high
soldiers
school.
must be ready.
First of all, it's handy just to go through and see all the different classes, because, like, you know, you've never seen a Houndsmaster or Men at Arms, because they may have interesting abilities that you like. And then you may,
Manslayer. I like that.
so you may just start, you know, grabbing those classes exclusively. The other thing is, so like right now, Reynold has a lot of stress. So you might have the question, do you want to keep Reynold or do you want to replace him with
The
like
raw
a Men at
strength of
Arms,
youth may be
which is
spent,
kind of a comparable
but his
class.
eyes hold the secrets of 100
Also,
campaigns.
when you look at them, as you can see, there's a wide array of abilities that they can have. So sometimes you could find someone that's like, oh, hey, this person has a good set of abilities that I want, or camping skills that I want. So I can get these for free instead of having to pay money to train them to be able to use these abilities.
So they might have just a roll of the dice of what their skills are.
Yeah. The other thing is that, so, you know, there's these numbers by the people's names, like the 1 in a white pip, or a 0 in a grayed out pip.
Yeah, it's their level.
Yeah, that's their level. So, there are different stages that have different difficulties. At a certain point, like when they hit, I think it's level 3, then they're at like the medium adventurer stage, and they will not go into easy stages. They just say that's like, nah, that's way too easy for me. And so what happens is that you have kind of like different levels of parties going on. You have some people that are on the medium stages and then some people that are on the low stages. So you have this kind of transitioning party system that goes between the different experience points.
Sure.
And then, you know, eventually at some point, people start dying. And so you have to restock those people who are of high levels, so they have to make it through the medium level, the low levels to the medium levels to high levels.
Right, you gotta basically grind them up.
Mm-hmm. You know, and sometimes you'll go on a long adventure, there'll be a lot of loot, but everyone will be stressed out. You've already invested so much money into that party, so it's going to take you like a week or two for everyone to de-stress. It's like, well, while these people are de-stressing, I'm going to work on... Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's a good mechanic to allow you to keep playing the game, basically, while the game is saying you can't play with these guys. Which also allows you to play with different party types, because you probably don't have the same exact types of people coming in on the wagon.
Mm-hmm. And like right now, you know, someone could die and you're like, yeah, whatever. They seem cool. But later on, like with the blacksmith shop, so all weapons have to be upgraded using cash. So eventually you start investing quite a bit of money into all of these people. And it's like, oh god, like,
how many
am I going to keep this person? Exactly. Am I going to keep this person de-stressed? Am I, like, I'm in a dungeon, there's some decisions I have to make right now. Oh god, I'm going to lose all of this money or all of this time that I spent
extent of my
invested in this person. Now, one way, the game does a terrible job of telling you this, but one way to get around some of those costs is people that come in to town on the wagon, if they are of higher level, they have a chance of walking in with upgraded weapons and armor. So I highly suggest, as quickly as possible, upgrading the cart for experienced recruits. So at that point, you're saving a lot of
base money,
both time, because you don't have to work those people up, but also base money, so you're not spending it on everything else. But as you can see, for experienced recruits, you got to upgrade all the other buildings. But just once you do that, jump on it and get experienced recruits, because it saves you money in the long run.
Yeah, instructor, okay.
So your men-at-arms is kind of a tank slash buff kind of character. And your Houndmaster is kind of a controller,
A strict
kind of
regimen
an
is
off healer.
paramount if one is to master the
He also
brutal
has one of the
arithmetic
rare
of
abilities
combat.
that can de-stress people.
Nice.
So the Antiquarian, I pointed out, that's the money-making person who's key. Another character you need to look for is called an occultist. And they're this guy who wears a turban, he's holding a skull. He's notable because he's the other primary healer in the game. You have the hooded woman, and then you have the occultist. Now there's other classes that can heal, so like for example the Houndmaster has an ability where he can heal everyone, but it's kind of a paltry heal. It doesn't do a lot of heals. It's not meant to be a primary healer. The Crusader also has an ability where they can heal people. Again, I mean it's a good and it's a consistent heal, but it's not as good as having the hooded gal. A handful of the classes have self-heals, so it's important to note if they are directed at other people, if they're directed towards the self. But for the most part, it's the hooded women and the occultists that are primary healers.
Makes sense.
So go back to your new highwayman, Thu, just for a moment.
I'm in the embark screen. Can I do that? There's a back button. I found it. What was the name of the highwayman? Seeker highwayman.
Fu,
Yeah.
F-E-U, yeah. So let me tell you, like, here's something that has a little bit of synergy. So he has point blank shot, which is the flintlock ability. As you can see, it only works in the first position. He has... So once he does that, it pushes him to the third position.
Okay, interesting. Back one,
Yeah.
I see. So you put him in the first, do the point blank, and then it moves him automatically.
Yeah. Now, the ability you have on the far, almost the far right, that little blue one.
The tracking shot, yeah.
Yeah, so that one makes him proceed forward one spot. So what you can do, and both of them are pretty fair abilities, so he can start the round with a point blank shot and do massive damage to the person in the first position. And then using that second ability, he can reposition himself in the forward position for another point blank shot. And
Interesting, because I used it and it
those.
didn't say I could do that. You sure it's not Duelist Advance?
Yeah, it's Duelist Advance.
Okay.
Is the one I'm talking about.
Okay. That makes more sense. That one's grayed out. He doesn't have that.
Yeah, so he doesn't, but Fu does. So Dismas does not, but FEU does.
How did I switch to Dismass? They look exactly the same. Oops.
Yeah, one is a little darker.
Okay, there you go. Duelist Advance. Yep, okay, that makes sense.
So those two abilities have a bit of a synergy to them. Now the only problem there is that you're gobbling up your first two positions in this weird dance that goes back and forth. So if you have a character that can only specifically do things in the first row, sometimes like a Hellion is really stuck on the first row, you shouldn't have a Hellion in your party if you're going to do that dancing back and forth.
Sure.
Pace out the halls of your lineage.
It's like that's an
once
example
familiar,
of some synergy that
now
goes on in the game.
foreign.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
And typically, boxes are safe. Those little pedestals that have torches in them, they're always safe. And then everything else has kind of varying degree of how much it can hurt you, or the chance of hurting you or not.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
Oh wow, yeah, I should definitely buy a shovel next time.
The way is lit. The path is
And
clear.
usually things are commonsensical, so
only
that
the
Iron
strength
Maiden
to
that you
follow it.
opened up, if it's going to hurt you, it's probably going to make you bleed.
Okay.
Because that's what Iron Maidens do, you know. Oh god, spiders. Spiders will poison the hell out of you.
And I put Dismass instead of the other guy in the front. Oops.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles. Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all. Press this advantage. Give them no quarter. Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
Well, there you go, you got your shovel.
I did it.
Yeah, and usually backpacks are safe too.
As the fiend falls,
And this hound guy does a
a
shit
faint
ton of
hope
damage.
blossoms.
One kind of pro tip I'll give you is if you run into a statue that looks like a
Begone,
tentacle,
fiend!
Don't
give
touch
it
it.
give it holy water,
Hmm.
and things will
As
be okay.
victories mount,
Otherwise,
so too will
it shouldn't.
resistance.
Well, things will not be okay, yeah.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
So the blue wall means a pile of shit. Green means some type of thing of interest. Red means a fight. And purple means trap. In a big room, if there's a goblet, that means that there is an item of interest. If there's a gold chest, that means that there's going to be treasure in that room, though it's probably going to have a fight in it. If there's nothing, there's not anything going on there.
Exposed to a killing blow.
Usually, Blight does a lot of damage, but the ability that causes the Blight does nothing.
Yeah, it's like a prick.
Yep. Bleed typically does very low dots damage, but it's tied onto a substantive ability that does some amount of damage.
Their formation is broken.
And then usually
Maintain
stun
the
abilities do
offensive.
little to no damage. And then debuff abilities are all over the place, depending on what the debuff is.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
And it's funny, the dog boy has already got like full stress from this one mission.
So my experience has been when you're retracing your steps, for whatever odd reason you incur much more hunger.
Oh, hunger too.
Yeah, than
Hysterical
you would if it
good.
Okay, that's a disease. So diseases can affect you. They're persistent. You have to do something to heal them. Once you finish this battle, you'll probably open up.
I'll probably be dead, actually. Yeah.
Well, you got to kill that madman. The madman creates a lot of stress.
No, I just mean dead from having all my HP taken from me.
Oh yeah, that as well.
I've missed the madman 3 out of 4 times. There's that guy
The
dead.
true test.
He's got a lot of
Hold
evasion.
fast or expire.
Oh, he got vigorous one on death's door. Our ideals bring us strength. Okay, you're gonna just be dead in 1 second, dude. Resolve is tested. Masochistic. Okay.
Those who covet injury
He's a bitch.
find it in no short supply.
Missed him again.
So
Perched
if you
at the
look at
very
his stats,
precipice of
you'll see
oblivion.
that Death's Door is one of his
New stats.
one of his stats for the chance that Death's Door will occur.
Who stats?
So your dog man
Okay.
should have stats on his character screen that tells what's his chances for Death's Door to succeed.
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna stop looking at those and just play the game for a bit, because there's just a lot of learning all these stats that is too much information for me to take in all at once.
Sure. Just know that you want the numbers to be high.
Yeah.
High
Oh, yeah.
numbers. High numbers are good.
A hand's breadth from becoming unwound. Back to the pit.
Something that really sucks, you have people who are on death's door, is if they're poisoned or blighted.
Yeah, because they
It's
die.
whenever it's-
Injury and despondence.
Well, it's whenever it's their
Set the
turn, they
stage
take
for
damage,
heroism
and so then their
or cowardice.
death's door is tested.
The walls close in. The shadows whisper of conspiracy.
That guy's dodged literally 7 attacks. Probably 50% of my attacks. There's another one he dodged.
Teetering on the brink, facing the abyss. Reeling, gasping.
Touch me on the burn lamb, I must make an offering now.
I see his heroic temperament has changed very quickly.
Well, I think it's a her heroic temperament.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But yeah, she went from irrational. Well, she had irrational heroism, makes sense. Yeah, just heal yourself the whole time. That'd be great. Come Oh, now she's switching positions without asking. That guy avoided his heal because he was paranoid. Okay. Shit, it sucks. So now everyone in my party is horribly mentally affected.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
So now you have to look at your map and say, can I make it through?
Of course I can.
And honestly, right now, you really don't have any trinkets. At the end of this round, you're probably gonna throw everyone away because of how much stress they have.
Yep. Like garbage man. Wow, what was this? God damn it.
Well, keep in mind, they're
Skeletons? But those other skeletons bleed.
Yeah, they have 200% defense versus bleed.
Stop talking, I don't care. God damn it. You guys are going full nutso. It's just 100% nutso.
Yeah, usually at this point, usually in this game, there's like, okay, things are smooth sailing, and then there's just a little bit of a slip. Usually it's like a critical hit that was unexpected, or someone gets stressed out. It's like, uh-oh,
Game over.
we're going down the shit toilet now. Everyone, now they're screaming at each other. Things are really bad.
The shitstorm has come in. So heavy with a chance to meatballs. There's no music in the air. This lady is just screaming insane things. It's good. The guy's just stabbing himself in the head. Okay, that's completely rational and normal. Don't look at it. Someone's gonna have a heart attack soon, is what it's saying. Good. Stop stabbing yourself in the goddamn face. Please. Just please.
But he's a masochist.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be getting off in the middle of a fight. Like, he can go stab himself in the dick later. Oh wow, she just randomly attacked the dude without me saying it.
Yeah, cool, right?
Yeah.
Wrong.
This expedition at least
Yeah, away you
promises
go,
success.
corpse.
Oh cool, the hero can contemplate mortality more. Quirk reinforced. Good. So he's now like super afraid of death. 20% stress of HP below 50%. Yeah, that's... He's a bitch. Might as well go to the next room.
Yep. I mean, I think you'll... I think
Nope.
you beat this dungeon.
Mind that
So
such
90%?
missteps are the exception.
Yeah.
and not the rule.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like you have to fight. Just make sure not to fall in the trap.
I did.
Well.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. It doesn't look like you're gonna go into any more traps.
The great ruins belong to us, and we will find whatever secrets they hold.
All right. Well, congratulations. You beat another map.
Yeah, congratulations. All my people are permanently emotionally scarred.
Yeah, they're probably all throwaways.
Trouble yourself not with the cost of this crusade. Its noble end affords you broad tolerance in your choice of means.
It's funny, it's just like, oh, don't worry about the fact that you've horribly scarred all these people.
Trinkets
Because,
and
I
charms
guess.
gathered from all the forgotten corners of the earth.
I don't know, yeah, 30% bleaching, that's such a Alright.
And
I am
check
actually...
out all the buildings.